Hello and welcome to Let's Talk Sport and Sports Keeda. It's that week again, it's Masters week, and obviously we're very excited. I'm joined by golfing fan Jamie Davies on the Skype line. How you doing, Jamie?
I'm very well. Yes, I can't wait. Masters week is probably one of the most exciting weeks on the golf calendar, and it's one of the most beautiful settings in the world of golf in Augusta, and you just couldn't pick a better place for it, really.
In my opinion, it's the best golfing tournament in the world alongside the Ryder Cup. The Ryder Cup's a team tournament.
To be honest, I work for the Open as well, so I don't know. I have to say that is just as good, but I've got to show my colours.
Show your colours, I like your style. Anyway, last year's tournament, Jamie, was a big one. I predicted Justin Rose going into it, and obviously, as we know, Jordan Spieth went on to win it in a dramatic fashion, Jamie.
Well, no, Jordan Spieth didn't win it.
It
was Patrick Reed.
What am I doing?
You're getting carried away. That was 2015. God, that was 4 years ago.
I sound like I don't have a clue on golf when I do. I had Patrick Reed up here, and my mouth said Spieth. I don't know what's going on.
Well, if I can remember, I think Spieth finished second or third last year because he had that late run in, didn't he? Where on the final day he was shots behind basically, but he had an amazing final round, pretty much the repeat of what he did in 2015. And if he had had another round of golf, he probably would have won the tournament. But that might have been where you got it from. But no, I mean Patrick Reed last year was on the form of his life, though, was he? In terms of the months before the Masters, because obviously he started to really come into his own at the Ryder Cup in 2016 when the US basically dumped us out of America that weekend, and Patrick Reed absolutely thumped Rory McIlroy that weekend, and he did it again in the Masters where it was the final pairing on the Sunday where it was Reed and McIlroy, and we all hoped, didn't we, Joe? We all thought, is this it now? Is all those years of waiting for him to finally complete the Grand Slam of all four majors be at Augusta last year? But sadly, he just didn't turn up, did he, on the final day, Rory McIlroy? And then Patrick Reed couldn't get any mistakes at all. Made one or two mistakes at the start, but then that was it. He was absolutely natural out on that golf course. And yeah, it feels like a long time ago since Reed won it, because his career, his progress has been a bit downhill since, and he wasn't exactly great at the Ryder Cup when it was in France last year.
Yeah, I think he's remembered more for when he was shushing the European fans at the Ryder Cup before than the Masters that he won last year.
Yeah,
I think it's just a controversial character. Ricky Fowler pushed him hard last year because obviously Patrick Reed got 15 under and Ricky Fowler came second with 14 under, just ahead of Spieth, the man that I mentioned before, at 13 under. So it's an American 1, 2, 3. Do you think the Americans will dominate again this year?
Well, in the last few months, the Europeans have been dominating a little. We've even had Paul Casey coming into his own because he was part of the Ryder Cup team. I thought he played really well actually last year. To me, Paul Casey's a silent player. No one talks about him, but yet I think in the Masters last year he finished in the top 6. I can't remember. I might be completely wrong, but I could have sworn last year he did really well at Augusta. And we have the good old Justin Rose as well. Justin Rose. It's mad to think, though, that it's been nearly 6 years since he won that first and only major at the US Open. And that was probably because of Phil Mickelson making a few mistakes that day. But in all fairness to Justin Rose, he's having a great time at the moment. He's number 1 in the world again. It keeps happening between him and Justin Johnson. But what do we know about both players? We know that they've only got one major to their name. And you just think, what if they retire in a few years' time or whenever it happens, and they don't really add much more majors to what they've got now? They could look at it and think, wow, in the time when they were at their prime, they really did not take the opportunity on those weekends when you're in Augusta or at the US Open or the US PGA, or, of course, playing at Links Golf at the Open. So I think Justin Rose has a lot to prove. We all remember what happened 2 years ago. He had the pot to at least take Sergio Garcia to another hole in the playoff. And Sergio Garcia ended his drought. But I'd love to see Justin Rose in a green jacket. But at the same time, I'd love to see Rory McIlroy in a green jacket.
As long as it's a European golfer, eh?
Exactly. Or Francesco Molinari. That's another name we could talk about who had a great year in 2018.
Well, obviously, you mentioned Justin Rose before. one thing Justin Rose has ahead of Justin Johnson is he's spoken to me on Twitter. Come on, let's be honest. But on a serious note,
I was jealous when he did.
He's got the gold medal as well at the Olympics. You can't
Yeah.
go wrong with that. So that's could technically, I know it's not classed as a major, but it is to me an unofficial major.
I mean, it's special either way. Representing your country and winning Olympic gold, no matter what the sport, it's still a special moment for any athlete.
So obviously you mentioned before that Rory McIlroy's favourites at 7-1, Johnson 10-1, Rose was just talking about him at 14-1 third favourite. Your favourite, well, one of your favourite golfers is Jon Rahm. He's fifth favourite this time. Let's talk about some outside shots for this championship. I'm guessing he's one of them.
Yeah, I mean, Jon Rahm for me, he's still another player that needs to break the deadlock, get his hands on that first major. And I think with Jon Rahm, he's a very confident player, very calm player as well. Where I think a lot of fans would love to see him win it. I think even the Americans like Jon Rahm. He's such a lovable character when it comes to him on the golf course, and he's very young. He doesn't look young, to be honest. He looks like he's ready to hit 30. No offense, John. That's not a bad thing, I guess. But anyway, he's very young. He's very mature. He's got a good sense of humour as well. I've seen him in some of his press conferences, and he is just brilliant. And he's had a few good majors now where he's got the experience. So I think if he's on the final round come Sunday and is up there, either in the top 5 or top 7 or whatever, and there's still a chance, I wouldn't count the guy out. But, I still think Jon Rahm's another one of those who could be a dark horse. No one expects him to win it, but yet no one would doubt it, if that makes sense. It's sort of a steady ship with Jon Rahm. I think he could do it again. I think I predicted him to win it last year because of how his form's gone, and he's been great again still, really. He's had one or two moments, but yeah, I'm confident could do it. But then you look at other Brooks Koepka. Now, Brooks Koepka, we got to remember this. He absolutely nailed it last year in the majors. The only thing he didn't get right was not winning the Masters. I think he won the US Open last year, and then he won the US PGA. And it's just like the guy just nailed it. Tiger Woods would have been gutted because Tiger Woods thought he could go on to win the US PGA, but Brooks Koepka on his day was just absolutely magnificent to watch. And he controlled it really well. He's got 3 majors to his name. The guy's more successful than the 2 top players in the world right now when it comes to the majors. So, Brooks Koepka is another one for me. Of course, the last major was the US PGA, and it was last August. But let's not forget, Joe, this year we have Masters this month, US PGA next month instead, US Open in June, and then the Open in July. So let's not forget this calendar of majors. It's different this year. I welcome it. It's not big gaps between the tournaments, and there's always a busy period for these golfers between now and the end of July.
I suppose it's the argument that if you have the same schedule every year, that it could get a bit stale. I think, like you said, there's not the gap between the two, so the players can't rest on the laurels. Sorry, if I can get my words out. They have to just keep switched on and then go from tournament to tournament and just continue to play good golf and collect that prize money.
Yeah, exactly. And there's a lot of travelling as well. I mean, some of the players are European Tour, some of them are mainly PGA Tour, so that's a lot of travelling around America. And America is a big country. That's why there's states around. It's a massive country to travel around. So I think, I like the idea. At first I wasn't sure because I like the idea of watching a major golf tournament in August. But it's quite fitting to see the Open be the last tournament of all 4 majors in July. And maybe in the future it gives them a couple of months to sort out, Europe and USA for when it is the Ryder Cups. We shall see. I mean, I obviously it's happening for this year, and I imagine it'll happen for the next few years.
I'm going to ask you the big question here. I'm going to push you. Have you got a predicted winner?
You know what? I'm just going to go with my heart. I'm not going to use my brain because there's too many to predict. That's the thing with golf. You can't second guess it because there's always going to be a list of players when you look and you think, he could win it, he could win it, he could win it, he really could win it. And it's like, who do you choose? My heart is going for Rory McIlroy. He won the Players' Championship last month. And, the guy he's been in the top 6, I think, or in all the tournaments he's played this year as well. So, unless I'm wrong, his preparation for this couldn't really be any better. And he never won the Players' Championship before, and it's one of the biggest golf tournaments on the calendar outside the 4 majors. So, I think in terms of preparation, Rory McIlroy couldn't really have done much better. And my heart's going to go for him. But, at the same time, it's been nearly 5 years since he won that US PGA in 2014 in the summer where he won the Open and the US PGA back-to-back. It was incredible summer for him. And we all thought, is this the Rory McIlroy we've been waiting for? Ever since day one he became a professional golfer, there's been big praise for him of what he could become. So he needs to get that monkey off his back, the Masters monkey off his back, you could say, and finally get that green jacket. So fingers crossed, Rory McIlroy.